master degree in cybersecurity, and as you have seen from our program, we have also several prestigious speakers from the world of the government and the industries in the area of the cybersecurity. Before we start our actual program, we have the welcome message from our Vice Rector for Teaching and Education, and it's bringing also the welcome from our Rector.
Okay, on behalf of our Rector, I welcome you to the University of Padova. University of Padova is a very old and at the same time I say young university. Old because we turn 800 years this year, and so this is a very special year for us, this academic year, and plenty of ceremony and events. And on the other side, we are a young university because we are creating a lot of, in the last years, we have established new master degrees and bachelors, almost 50 new degrees in the last 6 years. Most of these are international courses, and we turn also other masters in English. And now we have a total number of more than 50 degrees fully taught in English. And for this reason, we pass from having around 200 international students at our university. And we can forecast for the next year that we arrive at the number of 3,000 international students. It's more than the 10% of our students. Because we are a very, very big university, we have 1,700 students this year. We arrive at this incredible, huge number for a small town like Padova, but we are very happy. And the master degree in cybersecurity is one of the newest masters of our university, and we are very proud of this. It's a very, very hot topic, and I hope that you will agree with me, and if you are students already enrolled, I would like you to enroll in this course. I encourage you to do this, and I think that it's one of the most interesting and useful topics for the future. Okay, and I wish you a very good welcome day for all.
Thank you very much. A lot to our Vice Rector and to our Rector and the University for also supporting this degree and trusting this new, let's say, fields. As we know, and we will hear from government and industry, is actually a field where there is a strong need of people with expertise in this field. Before moving on, I would like to call on the podium here the director of the Department of Mathematics. This degree is a joint effort mostly between the Department of Mathematics and the Department of Information Engineering. Bruno Chiarellotto is the director of the Department of Mathematics.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I join my welcome to all of you to the welcome given by our Vice Rector. Thank you very much. And you said so it's a kind of joint venture between mathematics and department, actually information engineering. This means that we can harvest, we can do some harvest from mathematician and engineering people. So this makes a good mixing in order to study this subject. A subject which is important for me, and I make a point to come every year and welcome you, and thank you for this master, because it is important for the University of Padova, as Marco Ferrante said before, because we can. It's a way of attracting foreigner people, and it's important for a university nowadays to be ready to have students from everywhere in the world, not just people from the Venetian region, thinking that that's all, but also from other parts of the world. But secondly, it's important because we are answering to a real need of the society. So cybersecurity sometimes is, as you know, I think it's connected with some cyber war, such things, but in fact not. It's our real life. And I'm really happy that we can give in our society people ready to work in the society. That's really important. Thank you very much, and thank you, all of you, and I hope that you are all. Come on, okay? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Once again, to our director of the Department of Mathematics. I heard live that the director of the engineering department cannot be here for some last-minute issues, so on his behalf, I give also the welcome of him for the other department, which is supporting our degree. And without further delay, I would thanks all this welcome and institutional people, and again that are supporting this degree. But without further delay, I will start now with a panel discussion that we have. Actually, we set up a panel made of different type of expertise. I would actually call here on the table. We already have Nunzia Ciardi. She's currently vice director for the National Agency for Cybersecurity. It's a newly established agency, so they are working very much on setting up all the agency, all the institution, all the departments inside, hiring people, and this is something definitely of interest for the possible students of our degree. So thanks, Nunzia, for being here. You can also call directly on the table. You can come. We have the CEO of Cybersecurity, which is a relatively new company focused on cybersecurity. It's born from actually a bigger group in IT, but he will tell more. The CEO, Emanuele Galtieri, thanks for coming. Last but not least, we have Simone Scanavini from Luxottica, EssilorLuxottica. So the company that a very important company, and also they had an important loss for their company and for Italy in terms of entrepreneurship recently. And so there are different views, because we have a government view, we have the view of a company, Cybersecurity, which is focusing on cybersecurity, and we have the view of a company that, as you might know, EssilorLuxottica is not as a core business the cybersecurity, so they do glasses and a lot of other things. But you will hear how also for a company that doesn't work necessarily in the IT field or is not a cybersecurity company, the cybersecurity field is very fundamental. So we will start with Nunzia Ciardi. Again, thanks a lot for being here. We will leave you the floor, and she will tell us how the agency is working and her view on the cybersecurity challenges that we have in front of us. Thanks again.
Buongiorno a tutti, ringrazio l'Università di Padova per l'invito. Mi spiace, mi avvarrò della traduttrice perché preferisco parlare nella mia lingua, che mi dà la possibilità di essere più completa nel discorso.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank the Padova University, and I apologize for not speaking in English, so I'm going to make myself a translation because I'd rather speak my native language to be more thorough in my presentation.
Allora, io sono attualmente il vice direttore dell'Agenzia Italiana per la Cybersicurezza Nazionale, un'agenzia neonata. La norma che la istituisce è di agosto del 2021 e l'operatività di questa agenzia ha cominciato a lavorare il 1° settembre di quest'anno, il 1° settembre del 2020, quindi diciamo pochi mesi fa. È un'agenzia che nasce in ritardo rispetto ad altri paesi europei.
So I'm the vice director at the moment of the Italian Agency for Cybersecurity that has been just newly opened. Indeed, it was a law that was passed in August 21 that led to the institution of this agency, and we started in August as from September the 1st. So we are really brand new, we've been operating for less than a year.
Nasce in un panorama, quello italiano, che ovviamente non aveva un deserto di istituzioni. In Italia esisteva già, peraltro nel settore dal quale provengo, una cyber investigation, quindi la polizia giudiziaria che indaga su crimini informatici. Esisteva già una cyber intelligence, quindi un settore specificamente dotato di comprensione e di poteri nel mondo della cyber intelligence. Così come esisteva già una cyber difesa, che è la difesa militare cyber dello Stato.
And in Italy, this institution was well related. In Italy, that we didn't have a total desert before we setting up this institution. We did have cyber investigation, investigating, there was a police department that was investigating and crime committed in the field of cybersecurity. We also had a cyber intelligence and we also had cyber defense. That was an institution that was preserving military country.
Mancava però in questo scenario un settore che si occupasse di cyber resilience, ossia di curare la capacità del paese e la sicurezza del paese a resistere e contrastare al grave fenomeno degli attacchi informatici. Tutti noi sappiamo che le società moderne sono completamente digitalizzate, o meglio, tutte le nostre vite sono completamente digitalizzate. E tutto questo, se è un settore da considerarsi fondamentale per la competitività di un paese, lo espone anche a gravi vulnerabilità.
But what we actually were lacking in Italy was a cyber resilience, and indeed that this agency is very much filling up this void. Indeed, we wanted to make sure that our country could oppose and counter any cyber attack, because we know that all our lives, all our operations are strongly digital, and this is certainly a strength, but at the same time, it is also a weakness.
La mia precedente esperienza professionale è proprio quella della cyber investigation. E nella mia precedente vita professionale ho avuto modo di apprezzare, vedere e studiare quanto i reati informatici, quanto gli attacchi alle società digitali sono aumentati esponenzialmente anno dopo anno.
Previously, in my previous career, I was in charge of the cyber investigation, and it is in this capacity of mine that in my previous one, I saw the increase, the huge increase of IT attack vis-à-vis all our institutions.
E non avrebbe potuto essere altrimenti, visto lo sviluppo continuo e veloce, tumultuoso della tecnologia, che se offre sempre maggiori opportunità, espone le società digitalizzate anche a maggiori rischi e maggiori vulnerabilità.
And as a matter of fact, this important growth in the number of attacks was actually corresponding with the huge development that we saw in technology. Technology indeed allowed for much greater opportunities to be grasped on the market, but at the same time, it made the same company that were taking advantage of such development much weaker.
In un quadro già così complesso si sono inseriti due eventi drammatici che hanno profondamente segnato il passo della società digitale. Parliamo della pandemia da Covid-19 prima e il conflitto russo-ucraino dopo.
Given this already very difficult situation, there were two things that are to be taken into consideration. There are two emergencies that are happening in the world. It is the COVID pandemics and the war between Russia and Ukraine.
In particolare, la pandemia da Covid-19, come è stato evidente a tutti, ha aumentato a dismisura la superficie d'attacco. Tutti coloro che non potevano più fare fisicamente determinate cose o che avevano un ambito d'azione limitato hanno lavorato online.
And as a matter of fact, it is the very pandemic, the very COVID pandemic that made us all much more liable to attacks because we've been depending much more on digital and the IT sources since we couldn't be able to work and do our business.
Pensiamo a quanto il lavoro da remoto abbia aumentato la superficie delle aziende, spesso senza i necessari requisiti di sicurezza. La pandemia è venuta all'improvviso e molte realtà professionali hanno dovuto consentire il lavoro da remoto improvvisando, senza i necessari criteri.
Remote working had to be resorted to, and that made all the companies much more liable to attacks because they had to rely very much more on digital working, on smart working, and without the necessary security in place. And it is the pandemic indeed that made us so weak in terms of protecting our IT life.
E tutto questo ha aperto un nuovo corso, ha accelerato una transizione digitale dalla quale non si tornerà indietro. Se la pandemia, come tutti ci auguriamo, finirà, non torneremo certamente al punto di partenza. Si è superato un certo confine e si andrà sempre più avanti. Questa è una realtà della quale dobbiamo necessariamente tenere conto.
And this paved the way and certainly it accelerated the digital transition that was already underway. But even when the pandemic ends, we will never go back to the situation we were before the pandemic. And as a matter of fact, we are beyond the point of coming back. The user is impossible.
Quindi, se la tecnologia è stata un potente alleato durante la pandemia perché ci ha consentito di fare cose che altrimenti non avremmo potuto fare, pensiamo alla scuola a distanza, al lavoro a distanza, agli acquisti online, alle nostre relazioni affettive. Potevamo vedere le persone online, ha fatto aumentare il numero di reati informatici in maniera esponenziale.
So if on the one hand, technology helped us a lot, so it supported us, our children to the school, it supported us in going to work, or not going to work, but working all the same, and buying and having a human relationship on the web. At the same time, this led to an incredible increase in the number of digital crime.
Quando abbiamo guardato le tabelle della criminalità durante i mesi della pandemia, e soprattutto durante il lockdown, abbiamo visto che i reati tradizionali, furti, rapine, eccetera, avevano avuto un abbassamento e quasi un azzeramento.
When we looked at the number of crimes that have been perpetrated during the pandemic, we saw that there was a huge reduction, if not a total elimination of thefts and normal breaking in that have been basically reduced to nothing. But
mentre i reati digitali, il cybercrime è aumentato in maniera rilevantissima. Pensate che gli attacchi significativi, cioè gli attacchi, non tutti gli attacchi informatici, ma gli attacchi alle infrastrutture critiche nel 2021 sono aumentati del 35%.
on the other hand, as we were saying, cybercrime grew importantly, so much so that significant, not all, but important attacks that have been leveraged against our infrastructures in 2021 saw an increase by 35%.
In particolare un tipo di attacco che è diventato nel mondo particolarmente insidioso e pericoloso, quello attraverso ransomware, che immagino tutti voi conosciate, il malware che a seguito di un attacco informatico ne cifra tutti i dati per poi chiedere il riscatto per il rilascio di quei dati.
In particular, there is one type of cyber attack that's so important in use, and that is ransomware, which is probably, as you know, that type, which is the type of crime whereby a malware allows the system to decode all your personal data and asks for a ransom to be paid
che si è anche perfezionato, perché la criminalità si è evoluta e non si è più limitata in questo periodo a cifrare i dati e a chiedere un riscatto, ma li ha, in seguito a un attacco informatico, ha copiato questi dati, successivamente a un attacco, minacciandone la pubblicazione. Quindi è diventato un doppio ricatto con il quale fare pressione su aziende e istituzioni affinché pagassero un riscatto.
And as a matter of fact, organized crime perfected their skills in ransomware, so much so that not only did they ask for ransom money to be paid, but also they copied all your data and threatened to make those data public, so as to basically ask for a double ransom on the institution which is threatened with this ransomware.
Pubblicazione che, se il riscatto non è pagato, regolarmente avviene. In Italia abbiamo visto per esempio il settore sanitario molto colpito da questo tipo di fenomeno, con dati sensibilissimi, quali quelli sanitari, apparsi e gettati ovunque sul dark web.
And as a matter of fact, these ransom, if not paid, actually take the way to the data being made public. And indeed, this happened especially in connection with healthcare. Very sensitive health data of citizens have actually been made open to the public because ransom money had been paid.
Fenomeno che non ha riguardato certamente solo il nostro paese, basta soltanto ricordare l'oleodotto pipeline degli Stati Uniti o altri episodi di analoga gravità. Bene, questo reato nel mondo è aumentato nell'anno della pandemia di oltre il 105%. Parliamo di percentuali di dati che, se riguardassero reati tradizionali, avrebbero creato un allarme smisurato.
And this obviously hasn't happened just in Italy. As a matter of fact, probably you're all aware of the ransomware that was connected to the pipeline of the US, and there are many similar crimes that have been perpetrated around the world. During the pandemic, the growth of ransomware was equal to 105%, which is exponential, which is incredible growth that if any other crime would have been sent out huge alarm.
Tra l'altro, negli ultimi mesi questo tipo di attacchi ha colpito moltissimo il settore sanitario, che in un momento come quello attuale, colpito da una pandemia, è un settore ancora più delicato del solito. In Italia, una regione italiana è stata colpita da ransomware nel pieno della campagna vaccinale, il Lazio, quindi dov'è la capitale d'Italia, si è interrotta per oltre un mese la campagna vaccinale e tutte le prenotazioni delle varie prestazioni mediche a causa di un ransomware che ha bloccato completamente i sistemi, costringendo a lavorare, quindi tornando a metodi tradizionali come le prenotazioni nei call center.
And in Italy, over the last few months, these attacks have hit mostly healthcare. In specifically one region in Italy, the region hosting the Italian capital, Rome, Lazio, was attacked by ransomware during the vaccination campaign, thus basically obliging the healthcare facilities to resort to the traditional booking and reservation system that the center because of the online option was available.
Questa situazione ha ovviamente accelerato l'idea di creare un'agenzia che pensasse alla resilienza. Perché in questo mondo, in questa società digitale, attribuire un attacco informatico, scoprirne l'autore, decidere se è stato un attacco informatico criminale o un attacco informatico di un altro Stato o un attacco informatico di un'organizzazione parastatale è sempre più complesso, se non impossibile.
And this actually led to a strong need for an agency, cybersecurity, for the resilience of the country. Why the resilience of the country? Now, well, in the digital society, we define the nature of attack, be that criminal, be that done by any country or by institutions. So it's key.
Quindi da identificare chi ha compiuto un attacco e ricevere l'attacco c'è tutta una zona grigia nella quale è estremamente difficile muoversi e la via più raggiungibile è quella di creare un sistema che sappia resistere al meglio agli attacchi di questo tipo.
Between the time of the attack and the time where the investigation is carried out and find the perpetrator of that attack, there's a gray area that has to be managed. And in order for that to be managed at best, what we need is a system to withstand such attacks.
Quindi è nata l'agenzia per curare la resilienza del paese. Ma la resilienza di un paese è un sistema molto complesso che si articola in vari settori di intervento. Non è soltanto allestire un sistema che abbia dei criteri di sicurezza ben definiti, ma bisogna lavorare su piani diversi. E l'agenzia ha linee di intervento diverse. In primo luogo, quello ovvio di prevenire un incidente informatico e nel momento in cui è avvenuto mitigarne le conseguenze.
So that led again to the setting up of the Italian Agency for Resilience, and resilience actually requires different aspects to take into consideration. It's not just one aspect that can basically solve all the problems. So much so that the agency follows different areas at the beginning to prevent attacks from being carried out, and if an attack is carried out, to mitigate its effect.
Un secondo settore di intervento è quello relativo a una continua, costante ed efficiente collaborazione internazionale. La sicurezza cyber vive di scambio di dati. Tutti noi sappiamo che un paese da solo, con le proprie norme, non riesce a difendersi rispetto a un sistema che ha nell'interrelazione, nella condivisione, nell'intersecarsi di competenze, piani e tecnologie la sua ragione d'essere.
The second area for action is the continuous, constant and international cooperation, because the cybersecurity system we have the data exchange. There's not one single country that can counter this threat by itself. It is only through coordinated action that we can actually defend ourselves.
Quindi l'agenzia è in costante contatto con le agenzie degli altri paesi e con le altre istituzioni che si interessano di sicurezza cyber, europee ed extraeuropee, proprio per condividere quel patrimonio informativo che consenta di individuare precocemente le minacce e di porvi rimedio.
And the Italian agency is constantly in cooperating with other agencies in other European countries outside of Europe and with other institutions dealing with cybersecurity. The objective being that we're sharing information and data so as to identify the best ways to counter this threat.
Un altro settore nel quale riteniamo fondamentale intervenire è la crescita di una cultura della sicurezza e di una consapevolezza della necessità della sicurezza in questo settore. Consapevolezza di vivere su una trama digitale che richiede un'attenzione costante alla sicurezza.
Another area that we are carrying out at the agency is that of enhancing the culture and the awareness of cybersecurity, because we want to grow a community which is fully informed and aware of the sensitivity of all our actions.
Questa consapevolezza deve riguardare a tutti i livelli il settore produttivo, piccolo, medio, elevato, le istituzioni, la scuola, i singoli.
This awareness has to grow across the board in the industry, that's small or medium-sized or large, in institutions, schools, and in the level of the
Altro settore di intervento dell'agenzia è lo stimolo ad una indipendenza tecnologica. Il nostro paese, in ma in genere tutta l'Europa, vive di una condizione di dipendenza tecnologica da alcuni paesi che detengono quasi il monopolio della tecnologia. In Europa e in Italia siamo tutti dei grandi consumatori di tecnologia, ma non abbiamo al nostro interno, all'interno dei nostri paesi, una produzione, una ricerca, una tensione verso la creazione di prodotti tecnologici che garantiscano l'indipendenza, prima di tutto europea e in seconda battuta anche italiana.
Yet another area that we're working at is the promotion of technical independence. In Italy, we rely on certain countries for our technology. In Italy, for example, we are great users of technology, but we are not trained to manufacture, to basically produce our own technology ourselves. And the objective that we should aim at is reaching that skill, if not at the European level, but also at the Italian level.
L'autonomia tecnologica, se è importante sotto il profilo strategico e di progresso economico e sociale del paese, perché pensate a che volano straordinario sotto il profilo economico possa essere la produzione di tecnologia nelle società digitalizzate. Ma non è soltanto questo, anche sotto il profilo della sicurezza, l'indipendenza tecnologica ha una sua valenza precisa. È evidente che essere proprietari di una tecnologia aiuta a garantire la sicurezza di quella tecnologia.
Independence is all important, not just to pursue progress at the technological and social level, because this obviously has a concussion to the enhancement of two levels, but we have to pursue independence also to protect ourselves, to be independent and not rely on the past.
Da poco l'Agenzia ha contribuito a varare la strategia di sicurezza nazionale, anzi di cybersicurezza nazionale, che ha diverse sfide da affrontare. In primo luogo, assicurare una transizione digitale cyber resiliente della pubblica amministrazione e del tessuto.
Recently, the agency has adopted a national cybersecurity policy whose objective is that of tackling effective transition in the public administration and national level.
Anticipare l'evoluzione della minaccia cyber, contrastare la disinformazione online, altro fenomeno assolutamente inquietante delle nostre società digitali.
We also have to anticipate the development in the technological field and counter online crime.
E un altro elemento fondamentale della strategia che avrà come protagonista l'Agenzia di Cybersicurezza ci riporta forse proprio a questo contesto nostro di oggi, al quale sono lieta di essere stata invitata. Uno dei compiti dell'Agenzia è stimolare la crescita di professionalità adeguate a lavorare in questo.
And yet another objective that the Cybersecurity Agency would like to pursue is to educate, and which is actually the main objective of this meeting here today, and we're very pleased to attend and to be involved in that, because again, one of our must is educating the professions in this.
L'Italia in particolare, ma non solo l'Italia, soffre un grave deficit di professionalità adeguate per gestire e lavorare nel settore della cybersicurezza. Un grave deficit dovuto a politiche non lungimiranti, ma forse ancora di più a una mancanza di consapevolezza culturale dove queste società stanno velocemente avviando.
Italy, in particular, but not just our country, is suffering for a lack of professionals in the field of cybersecurity. And this is due certainly to the short-sightedness of our politicians, but also to a lack of cultural awareness of where this developing technology is.
L'agenzia che in questo periodo, per esempio, sta assumendo e sta facendo concorsi e sta sta richiedendo al mercato nuove professionalità per lavorare in determinati campi, sta constatando in modo plastico quello che c'è sul mercato, la carenza di professionalità di un certo livello, che vengono contese a livello italiano, ma anche a livello mondiale. Le professionalità che in qualche modo si sono formate faticosamente in Italia molto spesso hanno scelto di lavorare all'estero, trovando in altri paesi maggiori soddisfazioni professionali.
And the agency at the moment is actually looking to competitions for opening up career paths for professionals. And what we're seeing with our own eyes is the lack of professionals. Sometimes, unfortunately, we are faced with the fact that people that are trained in Italy are actually going elsewhere to find better jobs, better paid jobs, and they do not stay with us. So there's a remarkable lack of professionals in this field.
E questo è forse uno dei compiti più importanti della medicina, perché la sicurezza di un paese non può essere curata in modo efficiente se non ha tra i suoi ranghi professionalità preparate, giovani preparati, persone che sappiano muoversi in questo campo. E d'altro canto, la drammatica ricerca di una professione che possa garantire ai giovani un'adeguata remunerazione, non solo economica ma anche professionale, potrebbe trovare in questo campo un vero momento di svolta.
And educating is actually perhaps the most important action that our agency has to carry out, because we understand that IT security and cybersecurity is for country. We have to have young, educated, and skilled professionals to carry out this job. We know that young people are looking for jobs everywhere, and probably this area is going to give good money, but also good rewards to all young professionals that are trained in this field.
Per questo noi come Agenzia per la Cybersicurezza Nazionale stiamo inaugurando moltissime relazioni con le università affinché questo settore possa essere stimolato nel modo e addirittura sull'orientamento dei giovani che spesso non sono consapevoli di quanto questo settore sia fondamentale, sia il tema del mondo di oggi, e quante risorse professionali possono trovare in questo campo, che è la sicurezza non solo dei sistemi digitali, ma è la sicurezza delle nostre vite, perché la nostra vita è completamente digitale anche quando non c'è digitale. I nostri dati sono tutti digitali, la tutela delle nostre vite passa attraverso la tutela di una sicurezza digitale.
And in addition, in the agency for cybersecurity, we're now starting to a whole world of relationships with different universities, so as to guide students and offer them perspectives in this field, because oftentimes students don't realize how many jobs there are in this system, how many rewards there are in this field. We have to know that the digital system requires security, but it is not just a digital system, it is our own personal lives that require security that we have to protect, because our data are all digital, and we can only protect ourselves with our skilled, competent young professionals so that they can do cybersecurity.
Io vi ringrazio e se avete qualche domanda o qualche chiarimento sono a vostra disposizione.
Thank you very much for your kind attention. I'm willing to take your questions if you have any.
Should I ask a question? Se posso rivolgermi direttamente a lei, le domande sostanzialmente. Innanzitutto la sua relazione alla sua esperienza professionale precedente con le forze dell'ordine. Volevo domandare all'agenzia che modo si relazionasse con forze dell'ordine come Polizia, Carabinieri, Esercito. La seconda domanda riguarda l'educazione che ha citato, quindi se si ha la possibilità di avere programmi di dottorato con universitari e nazionale. La terza e ultima domanda è: sappiamo che sono state aperte delle posizioni sul corso nazionale e saremmo curiosi di sapere effettivamente quali potrebbero essere i prossimi passi verso il corso italiano.
So if I can answer the three questions now very briefly. At the beginning, you referred to your previous career being an officer in the Italian police. And with reference to that, I'd like to know what is the relationship between the Italian police and the agency itself. The second question is in the future how you're going to contribute to the education. And the third question is, I know that jobs are being offered by the agency, and what you expect for the forthcoming future, what next in terms of jobs offered.
Allora, i nostri rapporti con law enforcement sono continui e costanti. Se la cybersicurezza vive relazione di dati, è evidente che anche i nostri rapporti con chi indaga su determinati crimini sono importanti per capire i fenomeni. Pensate che dopo un attacco a sistemi informatici importanti ci ritroviamo insieme con la mia vecchia struttura, la polizia cyber, e con i nuovi dell'agenzia che aiutano a mitigare l'incidente. Loro indagano, noi mitighiamo l'incidente, ma lavoriamo fianco a fianco.
So as far as the relationship between the agency and the Italian police, well, there are constant and ongoing relationship with the law enforcement agency because it is my previous core that carries out investigation whenever criminal actions are perpetrated. And in a way, they carry out investigation and we carry out the mitigation aspect of this against the future impact we carry out. So there is close cooperation.
Per quanto riguarda la formazione, sicuramente la nostra collaborazione con l'università sarà sempre più stretta su corsi specifici, attraverso patrocini, attraverso collaborazioni, attraverso validazione di programmi. La formazione rientra a pieno titolo dalle nostre competenze più importanti, perché riteniamo che sia fondamentale per il Paese, per la sicurezza del Paese e perché la cultura della cybersicurezza si possa estendere e avvalere di nuove professionalità.
As to the training aspect, we will ever more cooperate with universities, sponsoring new courses, contributing to them, improving the curriculum of different universities, because we understand that training and education is a top priority for the agency, and we want to really focus on that, also to expand the culture and training again in young professionals.
Per quanto riguarda invece i prossimi passi delle assunzioni degli agenzie, sicuramente saranno veloci e ci saranno ancora concorsi e ancora comunicazioni. Ma io direi che più che prossimamente questo tipo di assunzione sarà continua. Vi ho detto che l'agenzia ha cominciato ad essere operativa il 1° settembre, in cui c'era il primo dipendente, che è stato tra l'altro unico per qualche tempo. Oggi, siamo ai primi di luglio, siamo arrivati a circa 90 persone. Ma per legge dobbiamo diventare 350 entro la fine del prossimo anno, 800 entro la fine del quadriennio. Questi sono i numeri minimi, per cui pensate, dobbiamo procedere in maniera assolutamente veloce per strutturare una competenza più importante.
As to the future in hiring, well, as I said, we've started hiring people and we'll do so rapidly as new jobs will be offered soon, and not just soon, but on an ongoing basis. Indeed, as I said, the agency was set up on September 1st, and we just had one person working at it. Now, beginning of July, there are 90 people in the agency, and we're going to be 350 by the end of next year, and 800 in 4-year time. So you may very well understand that this is going to be fast and moving.
Qualche altra domanda? Vi saluto e vi ringrazio per l'attenzione.
Thank you very much again for your
While we move on to the next speakers, the current today, Celia, the CEO of the Secretary, which is a relatively new company focusing on specifically on cybersecurity. Thanks for being here.
Well, good afternoon. Mauro, I have accepted with great pleasure this invitation because of the prestige of the university and also because as a company, obviously we need to hire new competencies, new skills as we have listened by Nunzia Ciardi, the director, the vice director of the cyber agency. There is a great shortage in such competencies. So I'm here just to tell you something about our company, not because I want to serve something, but I want to write competencies. So I'm here just for this. Cyber has been founded in 2014, and since its inception, the company had a clear vision. It was to be a product-centric company. We are a cyber software house, 360 cyber software house, both in cyber intelligence and in cybersecurity. A unique center of competence here in Italy because we have these two souls, these two business lines that coexist together. So the company went public and went IPO in the Milan Stock Exchange in 2020. And thanks to the resources collected from the stock exchange, the possibility to complete all the activities of creating its own products, we developed so far more than 10 proprietary technologies. And just some months ago, we had capital increase collected from the market 9 billion euros. And we have the opportunity to buy another huge group of forensic intelligence and data analysis that allowed us to join forces simply and starting creating the center of competence for cyber intelligence and cybersecurity solution according to our one-stop shop approach. So the company is public, although our mother company, the company that founded us, Electronic Experience, is the manager of the. Just some figures to give you an idea on what we are. We are more or less 500 employees with 30% of revenues coming from abroad because we start the process of internationalization of the company, mainly in Europe, but as well as abroad, with more than 10 proprietary products and technologies that address 3 main cyber markets: cyber intelligence, forensic intelligence and data analysis, cybersecurity. Cybersecurity both in terms of technologies and services. The company is growing very quickly, 60 million revenues in 2001, with an interesting margin of 30% of the total revenues. So, as I told you before, we have 2 business lines: cyber intelligence and cybersecurity. On cyber intelligence quadrant, you can see two different kind of problems or baskets. The decision intelligence platforms. These are open source intelligence hosting platforms that collect data from open source data freely available in order to correlate them and give specific insight, transform big data into valuable insights that support the key decision maker in taking a decision in less time possible with less risk possible. And the product is called People Platform based on artificial intelligence, because we established a center of competence for artificial intelligence within the engineering department. Just in January this year, and we work on artificial intelligence. That is the engine, the algorithms, a mix of different algorithms on artificial intelligence that are the engine of all our things. In the other quadrant, you can find forensic intelligence and data analysis. Forensic intelligence is a mix of platforms, advancement of different technologies that support police forces, law enforcement agencies, intelligence agencies in retrieving data not from open source intelligence, just for one main purpose: bring forward investigation in order to prevent and stop serious crimes. So forensic intelligence is the aim of making decision intelligence on behalf of public prosecutor offices in order to do investigation. Then you have the other side of the company cybersecurity with a product technology RTA, is a SIEM. SIEM is a platform, always software with artificial intelligence, that works on behavior. It detects anomalous behavior within a net in order to understand if something strange is happening around the net, and support the cybersecurity analyst in counteracting, in reacting against this possible threat and protecting. Then we have a pool of services on cybersecurity, spanning from penetration testing, vulnerability assessment, reverse engineering, cryptanalysis activities, malware analysis, and so on. This is just to let you know what kind of competencies we are looking for. And it is really difficult in this specific moment to find guys ready to do it. When we hire guys, we need more or less 1 year, 2 years to prepare them to be ready for such kind of activities. And maybe that if I give you some ideas, a rough order of magnitude of the market, of the cybersecurity market, you will better understand how important is having a master degree in cybersecurity. Because the market for us, we started the market because we are in this market. Cybersecurity is growing at a pace, at a rate of nearly 10% year on year. This market is highly fragmented. You can see a lot of different players according to the different kind of services or product technologies. And the SOAR, the street of a lot of different tools supporting technologies that habilitate cybersecurity activities within a company or a partner institution. The SOAR is the segment that is growing most according to our recent research. Although the CM, so the technology, is growing fast. So technology and services, both of them are representing for us a huge opportunity for business, but as well a huge opportunity for all of you who want to embrace this kind of career, to have the job ensured for all of your life. And why the market is growing so fast? Here you have just some ideas, something has been said already by the agency of cybersecurity. The net is becoming increasingly complex. A lot of endpoints, a lot of servers connected. So it's not so easy for you to protect the net, I believe. No. Lucky you, I don't know how, for sure. And there is a great difficulty to detect threats in real time. Most of the times, you have a malware inside your company, inside your PC, inside your tablet, inside your phone. And you don't know. Only after months, when something strange is beginning to happen, you understand that something that's happened some months ago, but it's too late. So cybersecurity is a matter for companies, public administration, for any of us. Increasing threat in terms of frequency, in terms of sophistication. Threats are really sophisticated more and more. And it's not so easy to face the challenge that this kind of environment exposes. We live in a volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous environment in this field. And the Ukraine conflict is demonstrating this with the hybrid where we are living. Cybersecurity skill shortage has already been said. The regulatory frameworks in Italy and Europe impose a different way of approaching cybersecurity. This means that the companies, public administration, have to invest in cybersecurity, and this increases the needs in the market. And some other topics that can let you or enlighten you on how it's important to have for our society competences such cybersecurity and more attacks. Rapid growth in cybersecurity incidents has been observed. We observe as a company because we are able to intervene when such an activity, such an attack occurs. Manufacturing companies, 22% increase on vulnerability, especially on operations technology, not only information. Banking, plus 64% increase on internet banking fraud. The fraud, technology fraud, technical fraud, sorry, internet fraud is becoming one of the main issues that the banking system is affording is facing. Healthcare, 85% of healthcare structures have at least one breach that involves lots of data, with all the implications you can imagine with that. And financial services, 89% of data breaches have had all over the world. These data are globally. So the topic is not just an economic issue, but it extends to some 4 other categories of problems that involve cybersecurity when cybersecurity is not prevented. Direct financial issues. Just think a company that is listed on the stock exchange. If we have a leakage because of a cyber attack, this means that our stock price will have a huge impact with a lot of problems with our shareholders and stakeholders. The impact on clients and customers. Theft of data means problems with data privacy. And it matters a lot just right now. Impact on services. Distributed denial of service sometimes do not allow you to have the opportunity to use specific services that are delivered exclusively online. And there are a lot of examples here in Italy, but everywhere in the world. On this kind of data, ransomware has been said by Mrs. Ciardi before. Ransomware is one of the greatest problems we are facing here in Italy in this specific moment. And the reputation of a company that has a breach will have a lot of problems related to the reputation, because it is not considered more as a company in which you can trust. Just picking a bank that have problems with their financial services, with a breach, with fraud. You cannot trust in such a company. And what is still boosting cybersecurity? The funds. We have launched in Italy the National Resilience and Recovery Plan. You see from the chart the numbers, and only the digital component of this plan accounts for $51 billion. It is really a huge sum. Sorry, not dollars, euros, we are in Europe. And we are investing a lot because we want to grab this opportunity. The European Program on Digital Transformation, $7.6 billion, where cybersecurity accounts for 22% in 7 years up to 2027. This is giving really a great boost in this industry. And still, we are continuing to suffer of lack of shortage of competencies. And what about Italy? Italy, there is a focus on the cybersecurity Italian market that see Italy at the moment is lagging behind if compared with the Western Europe countries, but we are trying to fill the gap thanks to the resilience and recovery plan for sure. And you can see the CAPE, the compound annual growth rate on such market, that will move ahead from 10 to 15% year on year. All of these are the main factors that in the next 10 years will have a huge impact on positively, obviously, positive impact, obviously, on this month. And I would like to close with just some slides that say or describe this is a standard, a world standard on cybersecurity roles, the NICE cybersecurity workforce framework, where they divide all the work, cybersecurity work into 7 categories. And we use this for hiring, in order to create job description for filling specific positions. Just for example, let's take point 3 on protect and defend. The category of protect and defend, identify and analyze, mitigate threats to internal information technology systems and all. Well, in the next slides, you can see that these categories lie into 33 different specialties. Let's go ahead with the protect and defend. Cybersecurity dependent analysis. This is one area. Cyber incident response, vulnerability assessment and management, cyber defense infrastructure support, and more. What are the job roles? In the next slides, you can see cyber defense analyst, cyber defense support specialist, incident responder, vulnerability assessment. What I would like to convey as a message with these 3 slides I showed you is that this market, in terms of job and terms of employment, is really specialized. Nobody can do anything in cybersecurity. We need specialists. And this is there to give us a level of where the world is going in cybersecurity or in cybersecurity. The generalist does not exist in this sector. And last slide is a positive message to all of you that the global gap in cybersecurity professional accounts to have 3 million people or competences on the world. This means that we have space, we have enough room, and we don't know how to fill this space. So really is fundamental. This Mrs. Ciardi said before, if you don't have firstly awareness, secondly competencies, the battle against hackers will not be for sure. We do not have the possibility to face the cybercrime warriors. Cybercrime warriors are few, but are ready to fight. We are not cybercrime warriors. We need competences in order to face this challenge. And we will win only when we will have the full awareness of the importance of studying such kind of risk. Thank you.
So much. Let me just point out that we try to collaborate as many people as possible. Government can reach 3 million.
Who knows? Who knows?
We are growing.
Maybe,
We are growing, but
maybe.
maybe if you in
Some
800 years, yeah, we do partnership. One circle basically, and yeah, I mean we are looking for doing our best. The message I think is crystal clear. In terms of job, we are not wrong this type of courses. Of course, the other component I would say is passion. We don't do what we do out of it is a job, but we also enjoy and have fun going to the cybersecurity area, which is so thanks again. Are there questions?
Sorry. I want to ask this question both for first year and second year students about the Meneghesso program. I would like to know which kind of opportunities are available for joint collaboration between companies such as Cybersecurity and University of Padua, especially whether there was a possibility of preparing a thesis project jointly with Cybersecurity, and whether there was a possibility to also invest in a PhD program, maybe a company managed program or a development program, something like that. So I want to ask on the lines of a joint collaboration between the party master program and
Thank you so much. We need resources, so partnership with universities and the Center of Excellence around Italy is our main thing. So we pursue this kind of partnership. We started since 2018 with partnership, especially in Rome, because our main plant is in Rome. But now we are expanding in other Italian areas. Partnership we have already signed with the University of Padua, this university, will lead to what you are asking for. So really soon we will be able, maybe Mauro can give some more specific details on that. We will start 3 initiatives on specific projects. Please.
Yeah, we have science collaboration. So as in the framework of this collaboration, Cybersecurity is funding and research for university research professor and postdoc researchers. And this is already quite significant scene, clear, concrete scene from the company. And we give collaboration. And I think as satellite initiatives, already with this, there will be probably a lot of projects, interaction, collaboration in this project. And later on, my understanding is that if this collaboration continue and my understanding is that it will continue, there will be more opportunities and more opportunities also for students.
And may I ask which are specifically or less specifically the kind of fields in which this collaboration may stand to loss?
Again, everything that you hear in our cybersecurity courses, ranging from traditional security, protection attacks, mobile security, machine learning, side channels, everything that you learn during our courses is kind of covered by the interest that I think you will find something that you like and is not of interest. Thank you.
Isn't it, I want to ask you since different company or something, but the problem was like that vendor. So with this company and with this collaboration, will there be an opportunity for international students as well? But I really hope there will be no pressure in this, since you are collaborating with many of the international organizations.
Yeah, I didn't get the core of the question is whether
My question is that will there be any incentive that you can, yeah, will there be this program will be only for that?
I don't think so. But do you think that there are barriers from the language point of view, or international students are?
Absolutely not. For us, international students are welcome. We want to create an international environment inside the company because we firmly believe that cross-cultural fertilization of ideas coming from different geography are a plus, a very early for our company. Absolutely.
Other questions? Otherwise, thanks again.
Thank you.
We now continue with the last point of view, which is the one of the company. It's a very big company, very important company. It's one of the most important Italian brands. But it's not all focused on security, not even in IT or ICT, but as you will hear, even in these cases in cybersecurity, inside such type of company is fundamentally important, and Dr. Scanavini will tell us more.
Okay, thank you all. First, I'm a little bit unlucky because the guy at my right said about 95% of the things I wanted to say to you. So I'll be quicker. Okay. But wait, you can go to the next one.
Okay, second I have to share. Okay.
Okay, so just a few words on me, even if Professor Conti said almost all. I worked many years in internet service providers in Italy, so I'm not probably a security guy, not native, because I worked in the network for a lot of years, more than 10 years, and then by opportunity, because the market gave me an opportunity, I decided to move to security, even if the knowledge of the network is something very important. Many people underestimate that the knowledge of the network itself is something that will help a lot in cybersecurity. So I decided to move to EssilorLuxottica last year, and then now I am the IT security architect and the leader of the Red Team, because I was always passionate when I was young about the cybersecurity, even if when I was younger, and for younger I mean at the beginning of 2000, okay, something like that, there was not such hype, okay, on cybersecurity. So not dedicated courses. If you wanted to study informatics, you had to go to information technology engineering and other studies. So nothing related to what we have now. Okay, so you are very lucky in this, because I did not have the opportunity to go in a course like that. And besides that, my love for networking is still alive, because I teach for Cisco Academy in Milan, and it is something that I really like a lot, and it helps me every day. So here, first of all, don't ask me something regarding my company, because I have signed an NDA, okay, and I can tell you. But let's say this is a complex manufacturing company, general manufacturing company. And as you can see, it's made of many layers, because we have internet, of course, that interconnects everything. Then we have our infrastructure as a service. It could be Azure, it could be AWS or Google, other things. And we have many companies, they also have their own data centers, okay? And they are connected together with this infrastructure as a service. And here we have the first problem, web application. Web applications are kind of problem because they are, let's say, developed at one time. And then you have a lot of difficulties in updating them because you find resistance in updating things. Because you have to do a regression test, you have to do a lot of things. It takes time, it takes money. And that's where there is the first problem. The first problem is to try to close that door. And then we have, for example, in a retail company like my company or others, it doesn't matter if you produce sunglasses, if you produce shoes, food, whatever, but we own our shops. And shops have another problem. Shops, they have their own network. And somehow they are connected to the other systems. And as you can see here, the first thing is that it's full connected. Everything is connected to any other element. The only thing that you can see that is not connected to the internet is the OT machines, okay? So operational technology. So I mean, tooling to make sunglasses, to make food, to make shoes, to make everything, robots, okay? And they should not be connected to the internet. I say should, because sometimes we find that is not true, okay? And so we have problems because each of these layers can be a point of attack, point of ingress. And since they are all interconnected, there is the possibility to move laterally, okay? Then, so if you have a weak point, it's just the first point, then you can start moving around until you find something more. And maybe you can get to the Active Directory, you can get the domain admin, okay? And then everything is shut down, okay? So what we have, generally, we have thousands of servers. I mean, literally thousands. Geographical links, because all of the things are interconnected. Can you imagine in a big company like that? We are on more than 70 countries. Okay, so it's really difficult to have the control. And you have another problem. You have the difficulty to know what you have. The asset inventory is the main first thing, because you can only protect what you know you have. If there is something in the corner of that room, there is a hidden server, forgotten server, something like that, okay, it will be a problem. We have hundreds of domains. We have thousands of workstations, okay, thousands. Thousands of mobile devices, you said before. VPN accesses from everywhere in the world. With COVID, of course, it was a central thing, a central point. Customers' data. Customers' data, it's a big problem, along with employees' data, or it depends also on what you are producing, because you could have sensitive data, which is even worse, something related to your body, okay? And there are some regulations, especially in the United States, they are very strict with this, okay? Then we have network devices. Here, we don't see network devices, but it's a ghost layer that interconnects everything. Physical accesses, something that is sometimes is underestimated, but it's a very big problem, physical access. Because you have now NFC badges, but most of the times you don't test them. And I remember when in my previous experience when I worked for Fastweb, I remember that we had a problem with the NFC badges because we were able to replicate them, okay, and it's and to edit them, and it's a big problem because you can go inside a company even if no one knows you, and no one is going to stop you, of course. But you could be also the CEO if you edit the lines and you edit the pictures and you edit everything else. It's okay. And then surveillance cameras, another big thing. I remember when I worked for Fastweb, we had a very big problem with that. I was discussing about this with Professor Conti today at lunch, and it is something that it's underestimated as well because they are not segregated. They have default passwords or weak passwords, stupid passwords, I can even say. Okay, and it's a very big problem because if you are recording an employee doing his job, and you are not authorized to look at that image, okay, you will face legal problems. So you can go on. So this was about, it's another representation of the last slide that is shown. And we have basically, he stated 7 fields, but I reduced to 5, with the project and lifecycle management, operation, incidents management, consultant audit and expert in general, and organization governance and risk management. And here is where you are, okay, where you will be in the future. It depends on you what you want to do. But just to, I don't want to go deep dive in each of the roles, okay? You can also search them in the internet if you want, but as you can see, they are not even relegated into one sector, but they mesh up, okay, sometimes. So some kind of operation, it's even in project management and other things. So for example, my role is IT security architect, and I am in the light blue, the first one on top, okay? But I can work also in other fields. So what is good about your future job is that if you don't like what you are doing, you can change, which is something that you can't really do in other type of jobs. And this is nice because it will give you flexibility. And for example, as you can see in the bottom left corner, we have a pen tester. How many of you are here to become a pen tester? Be honest. Raise your hand. How many of you? No one? You just want to work on blue side, on blue team? Okay. Okay. What I found, I run also the red team. Okay, I'm the red team leader, but actually I don't do personally the test because I don't have enough time to do it. But another thing, I'm also honest, I don't have the skills to do something like that because I spent most of my life in networking. Now I'm working in security, but I'm working as a manager. Okay, so I have no time to deep dive inside the CV every day, okay, to be aware of the things, and it takes a lot of time, and it takes some predisposition, I guess, also. It's not only a matter of studying, but it's like playing football, you know. I think that, yeah, you can be like a Cristiano Ronaldo and training every day and become a monster, but still, it is something that you have to be born, okay, with. And I guess that it's better to be remembered with the defensive skills of Paolo Maldini than to be remembered as, I don't know, an average of Palermo forward, okay, or something like that, playing Serie B. So don't underestimate the exciting thing regarding the working in blue team, because also to defend is an art, also to defend is exciting. And anyway, you are playing on the other side of the chess field. Okay? So what I want to tell you is that probably it's nice to be an attacker, okay? Because you are paid to destroy everything. It's the most fun job in the world. But no one has the gift to do it. Okay? I don't want to break your dreams, but I must be honest because I've seen many guys, many young guys, that they started doing this, then they moved more, I don't know, in SOC analyst, for example. And it's nice as well. So you can. Other few numbers, he stated almost everything, but they are just to resume everything. Okay, I want just to say that this sector is growing. And it's not starting to grow now, but it grew also in the past, in the recent past. So for example, it grew by 350% in the last 9 years, okay? And it will grow by other 3.5 million positions. I mean, it's half of the population of Denmark, okay? Just doing the same job in the same field in the next 4 years. So it's ramping up at light speed. For example, US vacancies, as you can see, US vacancies, only US, there are 460 key vacancies, and they are a lot. They are asking to Indian guys to take the place because they don't have enough. Worldwide vacancies are right now 1.8 million. They are long. Okay. Value is incredible. Right now is 180 billion in 2021, so in the past year, but it will reach in the next 7 years, it will double almost. Okay. Costs. Why there is this need? Because to pay for an incident, it costs a lot of money to the company, really a lot. On average, in 2022, we have 4.24 million for an incident, for a data breach. And we have all the consequences that you say, reputation, that is something that we cannot even calculate. Okay? So these are just my advice. I'm younger than my colleagues, okay, so I can speak more friendly to you, probably. And first of all, the first driver is passion. Because without passion, you can do nothing. Of course, you will have to, you need the will to study, and this is something obvious, but you also need the will to practice and the will to fail, because you have to fail. You learn much more from failing in your life than from succeeding. Networking, as you stated before, in this job, you cannot be alone. You cannot do only by yourself. So you have to start from the very beginning to develop your networking. By networking, I mean personal networking, to work with others, to be humble, to be friendly. You have to develop some endurance because it's a very stressful job. Okay, you are going to be hired tomorrow morning. You will have a high wage, but remember that is so stressful because I can tell you that after 5 years, there is I don't know exactly the percentage of the people that are leaving this job, this sector, but it's quite high. It's quite high because you can't stand the pressure. Can you imagine when you have in a company with the retails, you have shops and the boss, the point of sale, is not working anymore. And so the top management will come to you and say, you have 5 minutes to make it work again, otherwise you're fired. And it's not that easy because you cannot tell the truth. I mean, you cannot even understand the truth. The reason why you don't even know the reason. You have to do some investigation. You have to call the forensics guys. And it's a big problem. Okay, so we will start to develop some skills to relieve the stress somehow. Many of my colleagues, they do kickboxing, you know. Then you have to stay up to date for the rest of your life. Because this is not like any other science seen before. This is going to change every 4 or 5 years, is going to change everything. And so you have to study for the rest of your life to stay up to date, because if you don't do this, you will lose the train. There will be someone else that now probably he is at elementary school, but in 10 years, he will be at your same age that you have now. And then it will be smarter than you, quicker than you, and it will cost less. Okay? Then you have to focus a lot. Because if you do a mistake in this job, especially if you want to be a penetration tester, you are destroyed, ruined for the rest of your life. I remember I told during the lunch to Professor Conti that I had an experience when I worked in Fastweb. We hired a penetration testing company, and they sent me a report. We hired to do a penetration test, and they sent a report to me that was belonging to another company that I won't state. Okay? And it was embarrassing a lot. And I say to them, look, I'm not going to say to the other company that you sent me the wrong report, but I can tell you that I will not use it again. Because if you send me something belonging to someone else, what are you going to do with my report? Okay. And if it goes to my competitor, for example, it will be a mess. So you have to be focused, even when sending an email. And the trap is behind the corner, because probably it's Friday, it's 22 of June, there are 35 degrees outside, and you are ready with mojito in your head, okay, your hand in your head, and you just say, okay, press, so I can go out and take a spritz, drink, whatever. But you do the mistake. And if you do this kind of mistake, you cannot go back. So there are a lot of things that you need, but here are the good news. You can get something back for this. So first of all, you will have an exciting job. Whatever the job will be, so for example, the blue team, the red team, you want to be a CISO one day, not probably when you go out from the university, because you must have a lot of experience to be a CISO, and then you also don't sleep during the night. But anyway, it's exciting. Companies will seize you, I said it before, the very day after you'll finish with the university, you will have, even before. So the companies will start to hire you. So no effort at all to find the job. And that's nice, because if you see the newspaper, if you look at the television, normal guys, I mean, other people are struggling to find the job. And you will not have to do this. You will have a good starting salary. On average, the starting salary of security guys is 33% higher than any other job. So to start with a higher salary will help you a lot, even developing your life, because you can afford a mortgage, okay, for example, a loan, or you can buy a house, whatever, the car. And to have a higher starting salary, it will help you to gain more in the future. And you will always be ahead of the others. You will face a personal and professional growth. Just because there are many roles, so you can change the roles. And every time that you change, you can ask for more money, first of all. And then you will face a lot of different problems. And this will give you some personal growth. You will be a better person. Also because you will be able to stand the stress during working hours, but even the stress outside. Okay, when you go out, you come back home, it will be nothing compared to the things that you have in your job. You will have a wide range of skills. I mean, really wide, because with security, you will learn how to program. You will learn networking, you will learn system administration, for example, and many other things. So if you don't like anymore to stay in this sector, you can always say, okay, I'm going to be a developer, for example. And this is well paid as well. And as you said before, it's a long-lasting job, because I don't forecast that this hype will end soon. And so you don't have to be worried about your future for many years to come. So it's finished. The next one is just my face.
It's a lot of work for you and for Meneghesso, how stressful is I can tell you that it's very stressful to be a professor. You mentioned you the cybersecurity. So
no, you're not joking.
Yeah, so thanks again. Other questions? Yeah.
Sorry, I have to talk so much, but as you can imagine, I'm bringing questions from other colleagues.
Yeah, no problem.
I won't ask anything about EssilorLuxottica, so
thank you very much.
As you rightfully stated before, most of our colleagues, probably like 70%, are really interested in investing and renting professions. So one of the main questions would be which kind of expertise, which kind of training would you recommend, would you suggest to people who intend to seek some of those kind of jobs?
So I think that to develop some good skills in programming, it will help you a lot. Because if you want to do something special, for example, I saw a lot of reports in my life. And the very special reports are the one with RCE, for example, okay, remote code execution. And it's not working well? Okay, this one is better. And I guess that to have strong programming skills will help you a lot on this, because you can find errors inside the code, like buffer overflows or other things, okay? And after that, I suggest to practice, and again, practice. So there are many labs on the internet, Hack the Box, other things. You better subscribe to this and do a lot of captures of things, because there are many, and for example, there is RomeHack, there is CPF, there are in Akimbo, for example, in Bologna, but he is also running some CPF, I think. So to practice for me, is the best way to learn this. Okay, you have to study the theory, because otherwise you are not able to exploit the thing. Okay, but still you need timing, you need practice, you need to work with other people. So this is my suggestion.
And the final question that would be actually for both the speakers that we have here, it's about certifications. Would you recommend us Austria, Red Team Group, or as a CEO for the cybersecurity part, would you recommend taking certifications? Which kind of certification would you recommend?
I would recommend OSCP, but it's not that easy. Okay, I mean, you could probably fail in the first time. Maybe it's better if you start with something easier, then after you practice a little bit, then you can go for OSCP, and that will be your print on your CP that you are able to hack, okay, to destroy everything, almost everything. For me, then I don't know if you have something to say, but well,
actually, I have because I also applied for the and the thing was that the friend of mine, he was certified as a hacker, and I didn't have any certification at that time. Just because of the certification, I mean, even though we had a similar level of knowledge, but just because he got a certification, he paid 1,000 euros and got certified, and he was able to secure that position. And don't you think it's a little unfair for the people who are who are not in that state to get spend money and get a certification, but have a similar level of knowledge?
So I'm in a difficult position because actually I teach a certification.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. I can totally understand.
No, but I can tell you the truth regarding this. I started to teach the CCNA in 2015, and it was a different certification with a lot of value. Now, certification in general, in my opinion, they are becoming business. Okay, and I saw that even Cisco one, they fell. I mean, the quality fell a lot because they teach a lot of things. But now with newer version, they want us to sell new certification. I mean, other levels of certification. And you certificate just because you have a blueprint, okay, on your CV. But it doesn't mean that you have more value than another one that is not certificated. And of course, it's a problem because the companies will notice the certification. They will, especially the HR, okay, they just run through LinkedIn, they just state the CCNA, and then they just search. But for example, CCNA, the CCNA certification is just a closed question certificate. Okay, closed question exam. So basically, you cannot even do the cars and pass the exam like the driving license because you just learned everything by memory, and you just go there the day of the exam, and in 15 minutes you're out with 100% of good answers. So I can feel what you are telling me, but still, since they are important and you are all on the market, I suggest to do only one thing. I mean, not to buy a lot of certification to become like a Formula One with a lot of labels on top, okay? But just one, but it's important. So for example, S.p.A in the security industry is very well known and is respected. Other things like the CEH, they are just... Okay. I agree, anyway, I agree.
Not that much of it, because first it requires more of time. You have to study 6 to 7 hours a day in order to study, because it's so expensive. I mean, I cannot even imagine, getting that such an expensive certificate. Do you have any, like take or something to study for the exam, apart from spending lots of hours on that?
Every certification costs quite a lot. I mean, it's not just the certification, because you can prepare by yourself. If you are smart enough, you don't need a course, but you still have the need to do the exam, and the exam will cost a lot of money. Anyway, every time that you try, it's 300, 400 euros or something like that. So I can tell that it's not for everybody at the beginning, but my suggestion in this is, I don't know, CISSP or something like that could be something that is feasible even for, I don't say beginners, but for intermediate. And then you can just start to work, save some money, and then you can take the certification later, just to add something on top of your CV, and then you can go seeking for another job. Or otherwise, you can just ask your employer to pay for the exam, because it's a value also for him, because he can sell you to other companies. If you are a consultant, for example, they have to participate in bids. And there are some requirements. So I don't know, the requirement is that you have to be certified as a CCNP, okay? So you say, I'm going to be a CCNP so you can sell me, but I want you to pay my exam, and then you go away. Anyway, after that, you just change your job, because it's simply related to you. So it doesn't matter if a company will pay for your certification, but you will retain the certificate, even if you change your company. You're welcome.
With being so diverse, that it be a strong understanding which we need to focus on. Because like after graduation, at this moment in time, I don't think I have any, let's say, certain sector that I would say that feels to be more than another. So would you recommend, what would you recommend in the sense that if you start a job, which aspect of cybersecurity should someone target and what we want to do?
I don't know exactly if I understood well, because it's very far. So I don't know if you...
I'm trying to summarize. Basically, saying that the cybersecurity course is amazing, but it's self-starting. And then say, but despite this, I mean, the education is quite broad, right? I mean, we don't specifically focus on being a red team people, right? In 2 years, which I think makes sense, because we have a broad, wide view. So he's saying, when I graduate and I go to the job market, what I should do, because I have a broad preparation. Then
you have to tell me, because you have to do what you like. If you do what you like, you will never work one day in your life.
That's quite the problem is finding what you like.
But I can't help you in this, because I don't know exactly what you want. If you like more, for example, penetration testing, I don't know, do you like penetration testing, or do you like it first, red team or blue team? Penetration. Okay, so I guess that you can do the things that they were in the bottom left corner in my graph, okay? So for example, you can be professional penetration tester, or otherwise you can also be an auditor. which it's an exciting job actually, because you don't have to do all the kind of things that are done in penetration testing. I mean, an auditor won't go deep inside penetration, but it will find some problems in the networks, problems in the system, and they will file a report. But the nice thing regarding an auditor is that he travels a lot, because many times they have to be in companies with manufacturing companies, so they have to travel, and you will see a lot of world for free. Not for free, you are going to be paid for that. Okay, so for me, with my passion to travel, I think that it could be my next job to be an auditor.
In order to be an auditor, certification that is the first, and then you have to be that experience of 3 to 4 years of field, so then you can be an auditor. Within for 3 or 4 years, I will just work and then I will be an auditor.
I guess that you see the things from the very standard way, but in the companies, it's not working like that. Because you can start doing something, then of course you have colleagues, and these colleagues, they will have meeting or something. So you can also become an auditor without taking a specific certification, but just because the company will put a job posting, okay, and they say, okay, we need an auditor, and you are a security architect, for example, you could fit. Okay, why you don't do the job posting procedure and then you become an audit? Of course, you will say, okay, I'm going to earn more money, and if you find agreement with them, you will become an auditor without spending money in certification, without this long process that you are stating. There is the possibility, especially if you are in a big company, and this is the nice thing when you work for a big company. The big companies, they have a lot of opportunities, and since it's required a lot of time to find people from the market, from the external, okay? They will try first to search inside the actual population of the company to see if there is someone that could fit that position. And so my advice on that is it's not so bad to work for a big company, because you will have a lot of opportunities. So while if you start working in a small company, of course you will count more, but you will have lesser opportunities, much more less. And so my suggestion to you, if you want to do something like that, for example, becoming an auditor, you can start working in every position. Then the only thing that you have to demonstrate is that you are good at what you do. And people will recognize this and will trust you, because all of this job is based on trust. Everything is based on trust. So if you behave well in one position, someone else can think that you are also able to do other things as well. To speak a lot, so you can become an instructor like me, for example. You can, don't take it, it's nice, it's something nice to teach to people. For example, I told Mr. Conti this day at lunch that usually with Cisco, we do the Cisco Academy Day once per year. And it's a nice experience because we gather all the people from high school at their last year before they are going to university. And we make some labs, for example, for development, like Python lab, networking lab, and I developed personally a small capture the flag, very easy, that even a high school guy can do. Also because I am teaching them how to use, I don't know, Speed, for example, or other things like Nmap or Nessus or other tools. And they like it a lot. And I do this job, this day, for free. Because it's satisfying for me to pass the knowledge to other younger people. Because you are the future. We are waiting for you on the market. So if you like to speak, to be a professor is the best thing, because you are always right, almost. Nobody has the balls to say you something back. Okay, so. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any question? Otherwise, we'll this session as part of the program. Any question?
Bug bounty. I can't say nothing, okay, regarding this, but I can say that in my past company, we did this. It was not a bug bounty program, it was just for fame. Okay, so we did not give any money back to the people, but just putting the names in our Hall of Fame inside our website. But it was a useful program, very useful, because they discovered a lot of things for us for free. Okay, and I said when I was in my past company, look, we can give something. Okay, I mean, not just fame. We can give 100 euros, 500 euros. I mean, we are faster. We are the third internet service provider in Italy. We can afford 500 euros. Also, because they are running a lot of search. It takes a lot of time to research on a very wide website and very wide network, like one ISP network, and they said no, because basically people continued for free. But I do believe in that program. Okay, I do believe in that program.
Thank you so much. Thanks again.
Thank you.
All students there left Nunzia, Ciardi, and Emanuele from National Security Agency and Cybersecurity. They have to run for appointments and take certain slides and everything. Thanks again for lasting this time and for all the interactive and friendly discussion. Thanks again for being here. I think we can now move on with the second part of the program for today, which is the actual illustration of our cybersecurity and how it works. We will start with Eleonora, with some text, just to break the ice and change the mood, maybe. Take the event in the middle, and then we will continue with the actual presentation of the organization of our cybersecurity. So thanks, Eleonora, for the support for being here, and I give you the floor.
Okay.
So now the chance to break the
Exactly.
first of all, we will see the length of the password. And then we have done some research. The timing of the keywords actually came very information. I mean, I'm not sure.
I logged before, but one second.
She's still close to passing away.
Meanwhile, actually, I'm entertaining you by introducing my colleagues, Eleonora, of course.
Okay.
Assistant professor in our faculty board. She teaches the advanced course. And then we are here on the engineering department. Give some things. So the students already know. We kind of know him much. And I used to study more than regular percent. We very short while.
1 second.
No video. No typing.
Okay.
No audio recording. Anyway, this is not the same password he uses for Google.
My important one is the one for Google.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, maybe I should have. This would be in Italian. Okay, that is not correct. Oh, it goes to the Italian one anyway. The questions and the, okay, let me mute. Okay, much better. So can you see the screen here? Maybe I should also share on Zoom. Okay, yeah, right. Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. So please go to the Kahoot website and enter this PIN. Or otherwise, if you manage to, okay, pretty good. Or otherwise, if you manage to use your camera, you can scan the QR code. Exactly. Okay, let's wait for 15 people and then we can start. Okay, let's start. So you will see the question there, and on your smartphone you will see the 4 possible answers with some, let's say, shapes, and you have to choose the best answer according to you. Okay. So the first question says that infection disease has around 30.8% probability to be a worldwide fallout, as we already experienced over the past few years. And it asks, what is the probability according to you that is associated to cyber attacks? Those are the 4 different options. Please select the one that you think is the best on your smartphone.
30% is the expected chance that there will be another contamination. What is the probability that will be a worldwide issue because of this?
So the question is the other way around, whether you think that a cyber attack might have a higher probability to be a worldwide fallout with respect to infectious disease like COVID. Okay, most of you already answered, and let's see. So the probability is higher, and 5 people provided the right answer. Let's move on. Okay, we also have De Luca is on top right now. What is the number of available jobs in cybersecurity worldwide this year, according to you? There is also a possible outlier among the possible answers. Okay, not all of you chose the right answer, but it was 4 million. So even better than your expectation. Let's move on. Luca is still on top. I don't know if it is the Luca from our group or someone else. What was the percentage of women working in cybersecurity in 2021? At least one. Okay, unfortunately, the right answer is 24%, which is very, very low percentage. So please, girls, if you're listening, enroll to the cybersecurity master degree, and let's increase this percentage in the next few years. SVCV is getting higher. Okay, in 2019, the number of employees in Italian cybersecurity companies was more than 5,000. What about 2021? I guess a couple of people are not answering anymore. Let's go. Who got the right answer? Okay, it's more than 20,000. In Italy, what is the occupation rate 1 year after the graduation in master's degree in cybersecurity, according to you? Even if your answer is 95%, I guess it is a very good one, but still, I remember the right answer because now I'm going to. Okay, let's say, let's see. Okay, 100%. So feel free to enroll exactly. Next question is, in Italy, how much do you expect to earn 3 years after graduation? Okay. Pretty good. How do you learn cybersecurity at UniPD? Okay, pretty good. And since you mentioned capture the flag competition, you might also know the answer to the next question, which is, what is the name of the first Italian training program in cybersecurity for young students?
The winners get a prize from this company
Very good. So you also know about the cyberchallenge.it event. So we are waiting for you. Subscriptions will be in November, so don't forget, it will be spammed by me to register for this event. And the last question is the cyberchallenge.it event organized at UniPD? I spoiled already the answer. Okay, you got it. So we also won the first edition, willing to have more good students so that they can represent the UniPD team at the national competition. So the questionnaire or the quiz is over. Let's see who is on the podium. KL is on the third position. I don't know who he is or she's. No, they had to choose their username. So the first goes to SVCV. I think we can offer an ice cream. I don't know. Afterwards. Or a spritz, since we are in Padua. Okay. Shall we switch?
We have two slides to describe the organization of our master. And we're gonna start having
Okay, well, good afternoon. I'm very happy to see some of the current students, also some prospective students, hopefully. And we will try in these few minutes to give a rough description on what this program has to offer. From the point of view of the teaching methods, of the these disciplines and the areas that convey to make up our offer, on the specific classes, and on the let's say then on the opportunities that you have for instance, international exchanges and other initiatives that our university promotes. So, let me first start to give you giving you an overall introduction of the program, and so basically, what you expect to see today. First of all, we'll start describing briefly how a master program in cybersecurity is built, what we chose to build in the cybersecurity at Padova, and what is specific here and that you cannot easily find anywhere else. Then, of course, the overall organization. I'll leave that to Professor Rosolin to explain the specific, how the program is constructed and what are the classes that you will have to take, what the classes you can choose from, and what are the possibility for you to build your own career path inside the program. And the details, of course, of the specific areas will also be there. So, first of all, why is a master degree in cybersecurity, and why have we felt in the academia that it was necessary to build degrees in cybersecurity and not simply have them as a flavor of a computer science or technology engineering or communication engineering program? Okay. First of all, cybersecurity is inherently and highly interdisciplinary. The key point is the security mindset is approaching from the point of view of a conflict, basically. And so we don't simply build the program by choosing random topics from several areas of expertise, but we build them in order to give you the point of view of how components from these three main areas of expertise can be merged to build the mindset of defending information assets in our society. So the three main areas that we build from are the scientific area, basically math, computer science mainly. The technological area, computer engineering, communication engineering, information technology. And finally, the areas more tied to society and social problems, social issues like legal issues, psychology, as we have to take into account the interface between the user and the device of the solutions that we make use of. And of course, the business part, because everything we devise must be cost effective and must be efficient. One particular point is that because it has a significant engineering technological component in it, the master degree in cybersecurity area in Italy, it will give you the possibility to take the national qualification exam as an engineer for professional engineers. So to be enrolled into the ordine albo degli ingegneri, parte to ordine degli ingegneri, whether you are interested in the case you're interested in that. Now, what is a cybersecurity program and how is it typically taught in Italy? Well, actually, we are one of the few existing fully master program fully devoted to cybersecurity, in the sense that I've introduced before, with these concurrent contribution for the three areas. typically what you have is that maybe cybersecurity is seen as a specific path or just a short curriculum inside an existing program like computer science, computer engineering, or telecom engineering. There are, as I said, there are only very few cybersecurity master degrees. Typically, throughout Italy, you will find them belonging to a single department. Mainly, as I said, with the scientific and technological aspects, with some flavor of law and business topics, but just maybe one class or two. Okay. On the other hand, our choice here at Padova was to have this fully interdisciplinary through the effort of several departments. And this is one thing that, I mean, you know, Padova is a big university. Not only is a big university, it's a general university. It has many schools, all the schools in it, from business school to the engineering school, to the science, the School of Science, and even the School of Social Sciences. This is something you cannot do everywhere else. For instance, the Polytechnic University don't have science schools, don't have social sciences school. So this has led us to be able to involve both the Department of Mathematics and the Department of Information Engineering into the design of this program, and also all the departments for departments of psychology, law, and business. So we have been able to deepen those core areas with more specific tasks, more specific classes. For instance, we have an excellent school in physics here in Padova, and we can take advantage of that in the cybersecurity program. See that. And machine learning is basically I would say that in my department, the Department of Information Engineering, is definitely the buzz of the last few years. We've introduced machine learning classes at the bachelor level and master level through all the programs. This also clearly gives a strong contribution to this program. And finally, we have our psychology department is one of the most renowned in the nation, probably the most renowned in Italy, and that also has helped us building a consistent aspect of program in that aspect as well. So we have been able to build this program relying on the scientific excellence of our departments in several research fields. So, of course, many root areas of cybersecurity, computer security, network security, ethical hacking, and so on. But also artificial intelligence and machine learning, big data analytics, and information retrieval, information access, telecommunication networks. And as I mentioned before, the physics, we have one of the largest groups in quantum cryptography in Italy, in Padova. And although this is clearly a minor area in the broad field of cybersecurity, it is still something that is not science fiction. It is cybersecurity coming in for, at least for governmental organization and big organization in the near future. The psychology department contributes with a lot of in the cognitive and computational neuroscience and the human-computer interaction. So what you get from the scientific point of view is we are a university with several excellence. It's no, okay, I always feel a little bit embarrassed to mention these rankings, but you know, University of Padova is always consistently top ranked from the scientific point of view among all Italian universities, among several European universities, and the most. And so, from the scientific point of view, you can leverage the fact that all these competencies are at the university, and every department has been happy to contribute their share into this program. As for but I mean, it's not only science, we also need industry. Luckily, we also have strong industrial connection with industrial reality in Italy and also outside Italy. So we have connection, of course, with security companies, defense companies, agencies, banking. A lot of banking institutions are nowadays clearly very worried about cybersecurity and cyber attacks. You've heard that Ms. Ciardi, how she explained that. But how about logistics and transportation? Security in that field is also very important. Insurance, consultancy. Okay, more traditional areas like web development or business analytics, but today even automotive, like logistics, and of course, again, more traditional areas like electronics, telecommunications, and biomedical technology are involved. Our students take internship in companies in all of these sectors, more or less. And so if you're interested, clearly we can help you find your way also in the specific sector that you like. Okay, and we should update this slide with glasses, eyeglasses. Okay, and I'll leave to Professor Basilic to describe the study plan.
Okay, thank you, Nicola. So after the beautiful introduction, we can see how we can implement everything that Nicola has told us in the study plan. So how is the master degree organized? Well, it is a 2-year master degree, so it is fully in English. And it consists of 120 credits of teaching activities in total, where you have 60 credits of mandatory courses that covers the core security knowledge that you need, but also the core supporting methodologies and techniques that you need to apply in cybersecurity. These 60 credits also includes courses on advanced topics in cybersecurity. And then you have 24 credits to tailor your program on your needs and your preferences. 12 credits that you can select among a list of elective courses, and 12 credits that you can select among basically all the courses that are offered here at the University of Padova. And then there are 3 credits of English, so a B2 level of English that you get at the end of the degree. 3 credits of seminars and projects and other activities, and then 1 semester, so 30 credits for the master thesis that can be either a research thesis at the university or an internship in a company among all the companies that are partner of the master program. So the courses are divided into basically 4 areas. We have foundational security-oriented courses. We have fundamental supporting methodologies courses that are courses on other areas of computer science and computer technology that are not strictly cybersecurity, but that are very important to learn for a cybersecurity expert. Then we have, of course, advanced and specialized courses on cybersecurity. And finally, we have also cross-cutting courses that are the courses that came from, let's say, the Department of Psychology, Law and Business that covers the impact of cybersecurity on society and economy. So the foundational courses that you have to take are basically 2, cybersecurity and cryptography, and then information security. So we have 18 credits of basics of cybersecurity. Then among the fundamental supporting methodologies, You have 2 courses on artificial intelligence. So one in machine learning and one in deep learning, because nowadays machine learning is very, very important. You have to know it to apply it in cybersecurity. But of course, there are also a course on cognition and computation, when you can learn the aspects more related to psychology and cognition applied to cybersecurity. And then there is a course on stochastic processes, where you get the mathematical basis that allows you to model attacks and cybersecurity processes in a precise way. No, sorry. And then for the advanced courses, there is a course in biometrics and a course in advanced topics in computer and network security that completes, let's say, the credits on computer science and computer engineering courses. And then finally, among the mandatory courses, there is one course that you have to select among 3 that covers areas that are not strictly computer science, so human and computer interaction, if you are more interested in the cognitive aspects of cybersecurity. Then there is law and data, when you can study the, let's say, the law and juridical aspect of cybersecurity, and then service management, that is more oriented on ICT, and let's say on the application of cybersecurity in a company. The elective courses are a long list of elective courses, so I'm not going to list everything, but also they are also divided between foundational courses, advanced courses, and cross-cutting courses. So there is everything on advanced cybersecurity, like ethical hacking, mobile and IoT security. There are the courses on quantum cryptography that were cited before by Nicola. Then there are also courses on more mathematical aspects, so game theory, formal methods for cybersecurity systems, methodal models for combinatorial optimization. Then there are courses on networks, so wireless networks, Internet of Things. There are courses on applied machine learning, like vision and cognitive systems, etc. And also, since we want to improve our program every year, after every year, from the next year, we will also have 2 new courses among the elective ones. The first one is a course on cyber physical systems and IoT security. That aims to provide students the knowledge to understand the security and privacy problems that you have on cyber physical systems, where a cyber physical system is something like smart buildings, robotic systems, so systems where mix computation and the physical world in a feedback loop where computation affects the physics and the physics affect the computation. And there is also a course on privacy preserving information access, where you will learn what are the main challenges related to the privacy protection of data in databases, search engines, and recommender systems. So these are 2 new courses that are also available for all students. So students that are still at the second year can also take these 2 new courses if they want. So this is basically a brief overview of the program. And so we think that in this way we have designed a solid study program that blends together not only computer science, ICT, computer engineering, and telecommunication, but also psychology, law, and economics. And we think that if you complete the program, you will get a strong background on core security topics, a solid knowledge on very important underlying technology and methodologies that you can apply in cybersecurity, but not only in cybersecurity, and also 363 degrees vision on what is modern cybersecurity that goes beyond the more, let's say, technical and technological aspects. And so we think that this is really a very, very good program for our students. So to quickly conclude this presentation and then move to the question and answers, a little bit on logistics. So what you have to do if you want to apply for cybersecurity, and what you can do once you are enrolled in the program. To apply, basically, there are two ways to apply. That depends on the bachelor degree that you have. If you have an Italian bachelor degree, then there is a call that opens shortly. I think in a couple of weeks, the call for students with an Italian bachelor degree will open. All the information on the website of the University of Padova, on the departments of mathematics, on the departments of computer engineering, and also on the website of cybersecurity. If you don't have an Italian bachelor degree, but you have a degree from a foreign university, then there is another call that unfortunately has closed at the beginning of June, but it will be open on January for the next year. And in that case, we have to apply through the Apply platform at the University of Padova. The entry requirements, basically, to be accepted, you need some background in computer science and mathematics. So basically 24 credits in computer science or computer engineering, and 18 credits of courses in mathematics during your bachelor, and a degree of at least 85 on the Italian system or equivalent if you are from abroad, and a B2 English level, reading and listening, because of course the course is in English. Then, once you are enrolled, you have a number of possibilities to study cybersecurity, not only in Padova, but also abroad, because our master is strongly international oriented. So University of Padova is a partner in the Erasmus Plus program, so you can do a mobility period basically everywhere in Europe among many university partners that we have. But also you can do a mobility outside Europe. There is a special program for Switzerland that, as you know, is Europe, but not completely in Europe. And there is also the ULISA project for mobility towards non-European countries that you can apply while you are a student. Okay, so another standard question that we get: how much it costs to study cybersecurity? Well, the standard fee is around 2,600 euros. However, very few students pay the full fee because there is a lot of way to reduce the fee. So there are fee waivers for your economic situation, or if you're an excellent student, and so on. So most of the students pay much less than 2,600 euros. And also the University of Padova, the Veneto region, and many public and private institutions provides scholarships for students and awards. So you can look at the website of the University of Padova to search for all the available scholarships that we have. Finally, contacts. So your main contacts, if you want to know more about cybersecurity, is the website at cybersecurity.math.unipd.it, or the email cybersecurity@math.unipd.it, where you can get in contact with the administrative staff of the mathematics department for all your needs. So I think that it's everything for this presentation. So it's time to move to question and answer. So feel free to ask.
Thank you so much, actually, since you want to ask a question, you can ask it. Yeah, I would like the representative of the students to come. So they can have a stimulated discussion with students. And maybe not only answering, but also answering questions. And also we have online
Okay.
We have online Laura Provassi, which is the admin assistant for our master degree. Thanks, Laura, also to be here.
Thank you very much. Hello, hi, everyone.
Hi. So, yeah, the audio works very well. so he will definitely help us to answer all the admin questions. I'm not very good at this. And okay, so we are ready.
Yeah, I just want to ask a question about the presentation of the course actually.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Because I have some questions to go to the CEOs and the person who spoke with us earlier. But there is a question that is just a lot of colleagues, and it's like a painful question to ask because a lot of students, a lot of us, are really interested in pursuing an academic career that does not end with the master's degree. A lot of us may be interested, as you probably heard before from my questions, in PhD programs, both with the university and with the research and development departments for companies. The problem is that, as we all know, there were a lot of economical changes in the last years, especially this one, and a lot of daily life expenses were really higher. And considering that a lot of us are Italian students, a lot of us are international students, that we all face different backgrounds, we all come from different backgrounds, we all face different expenses. We were asking if, in your opinion, why a student should choose, if motivated enough, to pursue a PhD program in which obviously there wasn't any improvement from like the nation point of view,
Improvement in
terms of salary or wages, not significantly based on the actual economical differences, and whether if there were some opportunities from the universities for like housing or other expensive benefits for people who actually decided to go through a PhD program.
Okay, maybe I can start
okay.
answering, and then you can add. So the first item is you do PhD if you have seriously passion for research. It's like being sick, right? You are addicted to do research, and you do that. Definitely, you don't do because of money. But I would say that if you do a very good PhD, then probably you, on average, you significantly increase the chances to have a much higher salary that would justify the fact that during the 3 years your salary is really poor, at least compared to international, at least North European salary for the PhD. Keep in mind that I think even in US, the salary for PhD is not that amazingly great. Probably it's comparable to the Italian one, if you consider cost of life, at least as far as I know. Of course, if you go North Europe, probably will be significantly higher. But again, there is a significant effort also from the government point of view in modifying this and understanding this. There have been very recently some modification on the academic career. There are some modification on the cost of the postdoc researchers' position, that they become like almost as double as they are now, starting from next year, if I'm not wrong. I believe that some significant modification will be done soon in the PhD, I hope, right? But of course, I cannot give you any guarantee that next year will be double salary. I think it's a problem because it's important for Italy to attract people to stay research, because as you probably know, we produce extremely good researchers, and we unfortunately, I mean, it's good that we send people, but we are not as much as attractive as a country for foreigners to come. So I hope there will be some improvement on this. I would say that, I mean, as it is now, yes, I mean, the salary is definitely not good if you compare to what companies might offer you the day after or 2 years after your graduation. I would say, please don't be stopped. I mean, if you like to do that, don't be stopped because of the 3 years. I mean, I cannot promise, but I strongly believe that you will catch up later on if the salary is a problem. I think support-wise, in terms of university, I think there should be, so the ESU should provide grants also. I mean, if somebody has economical condition that needs to be supported, I think the ESU can also support, right, with regular grants. So you can still apply.
I agree with everything that Professor Conti said on my point of view, because I may be biased, after all, we chose that path. And so, so we all, of course, we're all very happy when our Padawans to do the same. I should say that yes, typically the PhD is a path for more, let's say, more advanced position in the job market after you graduate. After all, you spend 3 years at the forefront of technological and scientific advancement, meeting and confronting people from researchers from everywhere in the world, and in those 3 years you build your own scientific maturity. So you start basically by doing what your advisor tells you to do, and you end up at the end of your PhD telling your advisor what to do, basically, what you're going to do and what you should do as a research group. Okay, I'm in the engineering department, and still, although of course the majority of students, engineering students, choose the industry career path, more so than in science, in the School of Science, I would say. Still, we have a tough selection procedure for PhD. But I also have to say that, okay, you know that my group works in satellites, security and integrity, and the last 4 graduates from our schools, one went to the European Space Agency, 2 went to Airbus, and the 4th one went to Nokia. Unfortunately, as an example that was mentioned earlier, yes, they are going to companies in Europe outside Italy. The job market is international for PhD graduates, more so than for master graduates, because you also gain visibility when you start presenting your own research at conferences, or you get your own visibility. You are no longer the students from Padova, but yourself. So that is. But at the same time, you should compare this to the similar path that you can do also in the industry. Also in the industry, I think that the people who have spoken earlier, they would agree that the first years of your career are really fundamentals, and they can offer you to develop your career. So. Summary, it all boils down to your motivations. I think it's the main reason to choose. Support programs, yes, they're there, but like support program for when you are in panic because your result is not coming, then they have to come from you, from yourself. Thank you. Okay. I would say that there is that you should feel when it's okay. There are examples of students that went into industry maybe for a couple of years and then go back to university for their PhD. It is more common to do the PhD right after your master graduation. Typically because, but of course, if you spend your early years in an industry that works, that has a research attitude, strong research attitude, that is as well beneficial. So I don't have a clear favorite on the two.
Yeah, if I can add something on this, I mean, maybe my perspective, I would suggest strongly more to do it right after the master, even because of the age, but the age is not that important. Of course, we do what we like, what we have passion to do. But I think if you do right after the master, then you are still in the spin of the education, of growing, of learning. So it's probably easier. And also it's easier, it's more difficult when you start a job to take a decision, a break, and then switch. That's much more complicated, I think, in my opinion, and from what I see from students that over time. And also as
with the salary, maybe if you once you're used to the industry,
yeah,
salary
also,
very
also,
bad to
also,
the scholarship.
There are now even
if you're saved enough.
There are now even programs that as an employee you can go and do a PhD. Actually, this is very much strongly suggested for companies now. Like people are growing inside company. We heard about how frequently they can switch. One way to motivate people to stay with your company might be, okay, look, if you stay with us, we pay your certification, as we mentioned there before, but we can also let you do a PhD. And at least in some cases also that you mentioned about companies, also in my research group, we had people that had, we had projects in collaboration with companies, people were involved in this project, and they ended up being hired by Intel, Google, Cisco, because they knew them, right? So what is the best employee that you can know and hire? Somebody that works on a cutting edge research technology that you want to build and bring in your company. So the best person to hire is exactly the one that is working maybe on one side of the academia, you bring in the company. That's the best person you can ever hire, right? Other questions? Everybody want to do the PhD today? Which is good.
Okay. I had a question regarding the score requirements for the master degree. So is it just that they have to have 85 out of 110, or do we have to have a specific average score for my exams as well, like 24, 25 my exams? That's it. And also another thing for the Erasmus program, more or less how many people can go to this to the various destinations, because I was researching the Erasmus program for the bachelor degree for informatic engineering, for example, and I saw that it was not so many available people for to go, and so I was wondering if it's more developed in the master degree and what the opportunities. Thank you.
Yes, what was the first question? The 85, so that we sorted out. Okay. So the Erasmus, in general, I can tell you that, yeah, it's much more developed because it's more ideal to send more mature people to do an experience abroad. But I will have.
Okay. No, at the master level, there are much more places for Erasmus. So I cannot give you an exact number because the places for cybersecurity is shared with, most of them are shared also with the computer science master, department of mathematics, but we have, I think, I don't know, 10 or 12, maybe 15 different places to go, and for every place there are 2 or 3 places every year. So it's 40, 50 places, and basically almost everybody that apply can go. It's really not a problem. You may not go to your specific choice because you have to
some destinations
are more popular than others, but it's not a problem to go period abroad.
Can I add something? At the beginning of our first year, of class, the research is about the Erasmus problem, myself included. And I can assure you that, first of all, it's not just you don't get only to choose from the Erasmus project. We have the Erasmus project, but also we have like research project. We have like in Italy we call like international out of Europe exchanges programs. You have the one about Switzerland and other more. So eventually you come up with something like, as the professor said, more than 50, almost 60 total places. I can assure you that by talking with colleagues, both from the year prior and our year, the places, the spots, the available spots are way more than people that I asked. So if you really intend on taking this opportunity, first of all, you will be sure of what you're going to study, which kind of accent, be sure that you don't have to go outside in order to go outside, but be sure which kind of accent you're interested in and where. And also the professors that may take those courses, that may lecture those courses. But yeah, the spots are from experience and that they are there, they were not occupied this year, and we think they will not need next year.
Also, take into account that when it comes to bachelor programs, more or less, let's say, more or less, a bachelor program in, let's say, computer engineering or in computer science is more or less similar everywhere. I mean, it's basic classes, first years are more or less the same. Of course, it can be taught differently, different methods and so on. It is in the master programs where you have more specialized classes, more specialized, that it makes more sense to search for something that can define your own academic path, your career, and that may something you don't necessarily share with your classmates. It means something that you are going to have because you do that experience to learn something that otherwise you will not have the chance to learn staying here. That is the reason for doing, main reason for doing that. Apart from also the personal experience of traveling, going to different country, different habits, meeting different community, of course, this is also very useful. So yeah, in master program you have more chances and also more students apply.
I don't know, Laura, if you have anything to say from the admin point of view on the Erasmus, if you can hear.
Also, there is not only the Erasmus program, but there is also the project Ulisse, as Professor Bresolin said before in the slide during the presentation, because you can also go abroad, not only in Europe, but also outside. And also there is not only the Erasmus Plus study program, but also the Erasmus Plus trainship. So you can go abroad on all the Europe, and this is not so strictly, the requirements are not so complicated as the study program, because you study plus in this Erasmus study plus you have to go to do your exam. With internship, you can do a project, you can go to a company or in a research center or in another university with another professor, supervisor of your master thesis or whatever. So the opportunities there are are so much. So you can enjoy all the programs we have. Thank you so much.
For the exams, like how are the exams date are set? Because we have multiple exams on the same date also, or like either they are on the same date or they are in continuous series. Like Monday there is one, Tuesday there is two. So like it creates a problem for the students. So can it be like solved or it will be like this?
No, actually, this is one of the issues we are trying to work on to improve. And the problem is anyway, it's an empty heart problem. It's very hard to satisfy all the constraints of the professors, of the room, and everything. We know that, I mean, at least in the past, in the current, also summer schedule, we have, I mean, maybe not exactly overlap, of course, but we are in some part of the session, the exams are a bit too dense. And of course, we are working we are aware of this and we are working to try to make it a bit more uniform, at least throughout the session. Thank you. Any other question? Something you want to add?
Of course.
Okay, I mean, I just would like to add that the important thing in the master program is to be very aware of what you're gonna learn. Because I think in some few cases, people came with this mentality, maybe that, oh, the first week I'm gonna hack this computer, and then in the second week I'm gonna, I don't know, make a penetration test, you know, and it's not like that. In the very beginning, you must learn the theory, all the bases, and then you can develop your skills. And this is because probably if you're enrolled, you already know. If you are going to enroll, you will see. We are people from many backgrounds. We are people from mathematics, from computer science, in my case, from telecommunication. So it's very important at the beginning to learn the ground that everyone can understand, and then you can see, okay, this is my path. Because also cybersecurity is a big field. It's a very, very big field. It's just not a software, cybersecurity, you know, how to protect the passwords. It's very big. And I think after 1 year, you can see, okay, this is the big panorama, and then what I want to do in this cybersecurity world. So be open. You're gonna learn many things. Maybe one course are not very related with what you want to do at the very end. But I think that it's good to learn about everything, how a big picture about what is cybersecurity, and then say, okay, this is what I want to do. So for this reason, I think that is a very complete master. I think that it's a very good option if someone said, okay, I'm from mathematics and now I want to do cybersecurity. How can I do it? So I think it's a very good option. I think you are very welcome. And if you have another question, you can ask. Thank you.
It was really very good, and it's also good to hear from international students, which are, I think, roughly 50% of our student batch.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything you just said. What I would like to ask is exactly the fact that as long as we met the basic requirements to actually enroll in the program, you will find yourself in a very collaborative environment in which you can learn the skills you may lack. As she said, I come from a bachelor degree in mathematics, and I really lack the programming skills. At the very beginning, I had a little bit of some issues trying to figure out how to recover from that personal lack. But the program doesn't simply push you against the wall. For example, you just have to take like 9 ESCs of language programming, or from really hard technical point of view, and the other way around, I had obviously not really hard time understanding the math beside what we are doing, because we are dealing with the basic math needed to actually model the engineering around it. But a lot of people that may come from like computer science or the less mathematical university degrees had a little bit of more of a problem, but as well they didn't have to like on the second day know how to go for this differential equation of 5 orders and stuff. No, they had a basic introduction, and they would actually meet the requirements just studying with some average effort. For whatever point of view, if you are still not sure about whether this program will be suitable for you, I will just use the opportunity to remember that this is the University of Padua, this is one of the biggest universities in Italy, so you will have a lot of possibility to actually meet the very specific field you will be more interested in. You will have the possibility to meet a lot of people from various departments. You will have the possibility, thanks to how the study plans are programmed and oriented, to choose to elect some courses, even if they are not the department of mathematics or engineering or physics, but they are still compliant with what you want to do, and that will be extremely useful. I myself have the opportunity, because I'm really interested in digital forensics, I decided that I wanted to specialize a little bit more in a law-related field. So I asked that I could implement some requirements to ask to take the exams from those kind of areas. And that was something that really motivated me into deciding for this personal specific program. But if still, after all this introduction, you have more doubts, I would personally recommend already last year when I was your position that I contacted Mr. Rovasi and the administrative staff, and I asked if I could have some credentials for having a way to access some of the material that the professor obviously were helpful enough to share. So you can get a little bit of an understanding of what exactly a course is, who is the lecturer, which is the research topics of the lecturer. You can get an idea. One of the main reasons, for example, just to talk to you in practice, the main reason I exactly chose the department was for the lecture material we found about the exam of digital forensics, of fluent data, of biometrics. I sat down, I let it go, and I had some part of work, obviously, and I actually said, okay, this is something I would really like to study. I thought about it for a bit, and then I was finally really committed. So that's my personal advice, my suggestion of what you could do if you still have some doubt. And in the very end, remember that the university is one of the biggest in Italy, so you will for sure, whatever you want to do, you can find a way to do it. That's for sure.
Thank you so much. Are there other questions? Okay, if not, I think we are quite a bit behind the schedule. I want to thank my colleague for the presentation, all the previous speakers, and also the student representative. And I think one important element that I remember from my university experience, I mean, of course, the interaction with the professors are something very valuable, and you should leverage and exploit and ask for everything you want to do during the course of your study program. Ask questions, ask for opportunities, for projects, for international experience, because usually there are many of them available. And also the interaction between students is very, very important. This is something extremely precious. I remember from my study time now a few years back. So I believe that they are really precious to everybody and available. Of course, they are reference, but there are a lot of other students. You can also ask questions directly to them, that they can probably give a point of view which is, let's say, closer to the way you see the problems, the study, the challenges. So thanks again for helping us on this, and thanks everybody for attending the program today. If you have no other questions, issues, thanks all, and see you soon in classes for the students and for all the others in other opportunities. Thank you so much.